Hey guys, welcome. In today's video, we'll be reviewing this 2014 Skoda Octavia Ambition Diesel Automatic. Straight away, let's start with the design. We have this new butterfly grille, which is the new family face for all Skoda models, along with the new Skoda logo. Moving to the headlights, we have a very contemporary looking headlights, which have a dual beam setup. These are halogen units, unlike the xenons on the Ambition Plus and Elegance. Fog lamps too look quite nice and are quite large. Moving to the side profile, now this is where this generation of the Octavia really distinguishes itself from its predecessors. If we take a look at the first gen and the second gen, we notice that they are almost identical in side profile and dimensions. This car, however, is a whole 100 mm longer, and this length has gone to the wheelbase, making the interior of this car really spacious. The wing mirrors also on this car do look very sharp and nice. Moving to the wheels, now these wheels are very beautiful. But at 16 inches, I feel they are a tad small for this class of car, and 17s would fill the wheel arches much better. Moving to the rear of the car, the same design language of understated elegance carries forward through all generations of the Skoda, and that is clearly seen over here. Nothing is extravagant or out of place. Moving to the rear, we have the Skoda badging, the Skoda logo and Octavia written on the right side. We have the two tail lights as well as reflectors at the bottom. Opening the boot, in typical Skoda fashion, it opens along with the rear glass to reveal 591 liters of boot space, which I am sure is more than enough to carry the contents of a small house inside. With that done, let's quickly get into the back seat of the car. Opening the rear door, we notice the door opens nice and wide, making getting in and getting out a breeze. The door pockets too are quite large and can easily hold 1 liter bottles. Moving inside, the seats are wrapped in pure leather and are really very premium and comfortable. Space is absolutely not an issue over here, with ample amount of kneeroom, legroom and headroom. You also get a light on top, grab handles on both sides, and you also get a center armrest along with dual or single cup holder as you please. You also get rear AC vents, and this cabin is really very well built. The Skoda Octavia is really one of those cars that's very good at doing many things. This car can be chauffeur driven during the daily grind, so you don't have to be tensed while driving in traffic, and it offers enough driving pleasure for you to want to drive this car over the weekends. That's how well built, well purposed and dynamically accomplished this car really is. Talking about the door pads, we have your controls for your windows and your mirrors. Door pockets too are quite large. Inside the car, the seats are absolutely awesome and really do support you and hold you in very well. They are extremely comfortable, and driving long hours in this car will definitely not be an issue. Talking about the interior quality, everything in this car is really of top-notch quality. And this car is no different. It really does stand as a testament to the quality of Skoda cars. This car has done not less than 1,60,000 kilometers in just 6 years, and yet everything still works in this car and still operates with the same functionality as of day one. That's what the owner tells me, and I can really believe him, being a Skoda owner myself. Let's quickly start the car, and there the 2.0 engine rose to life. We have your tachometer, your speedometer, your multi-information display, your temperature gauge and fuel gauge along with the other telltale lights. Being a typical Skoda, you have your indicators on the left and your wiper controls on the right. Moving to the infotainment system, we have a touchscreen unit along with your dual zone climate control system, your DSG gear lever, your 2 cup holders, your handbrake, as well as an armrest and a small storage compartment. We also have an auto dimming inside rear view mirror along with sun visors with a mirror so that you can look at yourself when you drive. The same is there on the passenger side as well. To sum it up, the interior of this car is really extremely well built and really full of premium materials. If you do plan to travel long distances every month, I do recommend you buy a strong car like a Skoda, because it really does give you a sense of safety and security, as well as having the performance to match the price tag also. Let's now check out the engine bay of this car, where the 2-liter turbo diesel motor resides. And there we have it, the 2-liter diesel engine producing 140 horsepower and 320 Nm of torque. We have insulation on top, and this engine really is quite refined from the inside, but on the outside, as you can hear, this engine does have the classic diesel note, and this is typical for all VAG group diesel engines. Anyway, with that done, let's now get driving and see how this car drives like. Alright guys, so driving the 3rd generation Octavia. The first thing I felt when driving this car is how effortless this car is to drive. Going by the odometer reading of 1,60,000 kilometers, this car definitely does not feel like it's covered such massive mileage. In fact, it genuinely feels like it has done only half the mileage the odometer claims it has. The steering is light and effortless with no knocks or abnormal noises, and even the suspension on this car is in top-notch condition. The owner tells me that the suspension was totally overhauled at Skoda at around 1,10,000 kilometers, and that really shows because this car rides like an absolute new car. Talking about the ride and handling balance, well, this car does have a slightly stiff low-speed ride, but that's quite normal for these European cars, and this is meant for the car to have good stability at high speed. Talking about the high speed stability, well, I'm sure this car will be an absolute awesome performer on the highway, and unfortunately I couldn't test that myself due to time constraints, but if you guys can click on top and check out my review of the previous generation car, that's basically the Laura, you know what I mean, because that car was absolutely awesome on the highway, and I'm sure this car will be no different. Talking about the engine and gearbox combination, so this car is powered by the 2-liter diesel engine producing 140 horsepower and 320 Nm of torque. This engine, even after such mega miles, is an absolute awesome performer. Power delivery is very linear, and you don't need to push the engine to extract every bit of performance. The engine is happiest in the mid-range, and the turbo also spools up relatively quickly to keep you in the good mid-range boost. Talking about the gearbox. Now, people usually shy away from automatic Skodas, especially in the used car market. That's because the DSGs are infamous for failing and being extremely expensive to fix. However, if the gearbox is taken care of, like in this car, I'm sure it will give you lakhs and lakhs of trouble-free kilometers. This car has had its extremely expensive and complicated DSG clutch changed just recently at 1,50,000 kilometers, and I'm sure now this gearbox is ready for the next 1,50,000 kilometers with no maintenance at all. That being said, maintaining a DSG or driving an automatic Skoda with a DSG needs to be dealt with care. You do need to put the gearbox in neutral or park when you come to a stop to avoid unnecessarily burning out the clutch. While reviewing cars, I don't usually talk about the in-city maneuverability, but considering that we are within city limits, let's quickly take a U-turn and see how the car handles it. And as you can see, even though this car is quite big, it is actually very maneuverable in city limits, and driving this car in the city or on the highway is a breeze. Talking about visibility, now this car offers excellent visibility all round. The front glass is big, the rear mirrors give a good view of what's behind you, and even view through the back glass is also good enough. One downside with this car, however, is its lack of a reverse parking camera. Yes, this car cost approximately 20-25 lakhs new in 2014, and it never came with the reverse parking camera as standard. It does come with reverse parking sensors, and they do their job very well, but others in its class came with a reverse camera, and that is kind of missed in this car. Other than that, this car is absolutely feature loaded like I mentioned before. You get your dual zone climate control, you get your electric folding mirrors. Seats in this car are manual, being the Ambition, but if you go for higher variants like the Elegance or the Ambition Plus, you do get electric seats over there. The factory fitted audio system in this car is also very good. I think it comes with 4 speakers and 4 tweeters, just like how the Laura came, but the quality of sound output is much better than the Laura. The need for upgrading the system with subwoofers and amplifiers may not be required for the average audio listener. So guys, that's my review of the 3rd generation Octavia, and I never really expected that a car with such a high mileage would do so well in my review, but that's how Skodas are and that's how well they are built and designed. So guys, that's my review of the 3rd generation Octavia. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, consider giving the video a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. That's it from my side. This is JRS Cars signing off, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you, bye bye.